Return of the King. This review is another re-review of one of the Lord of the Rings movies. I meant to record this review months ago, but it took me forever to watch this movie because it's a long movie, and I don't know why. I kept putting it off, kept putting it off, kept putting it off, and here we are. I decided to do it this week because of the fact that we do have the Rings of Power coming out Friday, and yeah, and the reason I'm re-reviewing these movies, to be honest, guys, is my older reviews are not the best, and I don't think I describe these movies very well, especially these Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies, because these are my first time watching these movies. It was a lot to digest within one viewing, and I didn't really fully capture why these movies are so good because I didn't really understand why they were so good the first time I watched them. It was after months of letting them sit with me and watching them 3 or 4 times later that I grew to really love these movies. And so, yeah, I think I'm probably going to re-review the Star Wars movies at some point as well, because I'm not proud of those reviews. I was putting them out as a rush for Rise of Skywalker, so just a little tangent there. But after I'm done, but right now I got reviews coming up for Rob Zombie movies because I want to review all those before the new Monsters movie comes out. I want to talk about the Jaws sequels, and I want to talk about some other things, like The Omen during October. So, you know, maybe Star Wars after that, but for right now, this is what we're talking about, and let's get into it. So, I really, really love this movie. This is considered by a lot of people, I think, to be the best of the trilogy because I don't know this trilogy. This movie's kind of like Game of Thrones, right? I mentioned this because I just finished watching the House of the Dragon episode 2, but like Game of Thrones was this amazing show that was essentially ruined by its ending. That's not to say that it's bad or you shouldn't watch it. You definitely should. It's a phenomenal show. But like imagine if this movie had been bad. It would have made Fellowship, it would have made Two Towers just utter like dribble, just essentially, because like why would you want to watch those when you know that the ending to the story is terrible? But this movie does such a great job from the beginning of this movie with like simple lines like, hey, the sky is growing darker and it's only midday, things like that, setting up that, hey, this is the end. Things are not looking great for our heroes. So it makes those moments towards the end where they all come together and they all finally become one and they fight for the final fate of Middle Earth, and just these beautiful moments. And it's just beautiful. The music here is great. It just, every character moment is beautiful because you watch these characters for 3 movies go through these amazing, beautiful journeys. It felt like basically my Endgame. And what I mean by that is I never was too attached to Marvel. So watching Endgame, I didn't have the same love and connection to it that some people did. I mean, I've seen all the movies, but like I didn't care that much. I felt like but this I felt it more, you know. These are just beautiful moments and just it was epic. It was amazing. I really liked the tragedy of Gollum, the opening scene is beautiful. It's cementing the tragedy of that character and why his end in the movie has to happen the way it does. I guess spoilers, but I don't think anyone cares about spoilers for this movie. Um, but this is a beautiful conclusion to this amazing trilogy. The only thing I find a little annoying about this is mostly an extended edition problem, which is that when it gets to that climax, there are lots of moments where it's cutting to black, and I get the idea is, we're showing all these characters where they end up, but then it just cuts to black, and then it cuts back into more movie, and it's really irritating when movies do that. You really should try to do that as little as possible within a movie, but it didn't mind too much because you did want to see where Aragon ended up, how him as the king. You did want to see Frodo go off one the final time and leave the Shire. Or you did want to see well Bilbo ended up, or all these characters, because again, you spent 3 movies with them. It was a beautiful story. It was epic, and yeah, I mean, this is why I'm excited to talk about Rings of Power, because Hobbit movies weren't great movies, but these were epic, beautiful stories with these amazing characters, and I think fleshing that out in a TV show might actually help it, just because you know even as someone who loves these movies, it's really hard to consume like this movie. This movie is over 4 hours long if you watch the extended version, which as a fan I would say is the only way to watch it. But even if you don't watch extended, that's over 3 hours, and that doesn't count the other 2 movies. It makes it very difficult to watch these things, and sure you could like watch half of the one movie the other day and then watch the next half of the movie, the next day or whatever you want to do, but it still like makes it hard. And I think that's why some of young people who don't have very long attention spans have a hard time getting into these movies. And maybe TV show might be the right angle for it, but personally I think it's ridiculous that so many young people have as low attention spans as they do. But that's just the whole thing I'm going on about for no reason. I'm throwing stones in glass houses is what I'm trying to say there. But you know what I mean? Like, these movies are great. There's nothing really here to criticize. I mean, even the Academy, who usually doesn't love movies like this, acknowledged this movie and gave it Best Picture. Like, this is how good this movie is. I don't know a single person that hates this movie unless they just hate Lord of the Rings and they're a boring piece of garbage human being. I'm kidding. But we should bully them and throw stones at them. Actually, let's not do that. That's wrong. YouTube, I am not encouraging violence. I am not Saruman, an evil monster, okay? Alright, thank you guys for watching. And super excited to talk about House of the Dragon and Rings of Power with you guys.